quorum. It is 6:30. Great. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this a regular meeting, but we've had to move our schedule. So it is a regular meeting of the Programs and Services Committee, but on an irregular night. It is Thursday, February 8th. Hopefully you all have the agenda in front of you. Present at the beginning of the meeting from Ward 1, Councilor John Oliver, Councilor at Large. From Ward 2, Councilor David Mickley. From Ward 3, Councilor Julia Malachy. I'm Josh Krinsman. From Ward 4, Councilor at Large. I'm the chair of the committee. We also have from Ward 6, Councilor Alan Lobovitz. And from Ward 7, Councilor Lyle Baker. We may be joined by one other councilor tonight. I know one will be absent. We are being audio and video recorded as well, so please take note of that. The first item on our agenda is item 56-24. This is the appointment of Eliza Spalding to the Human Rights Commission. Did I pronounce it right? Did I do that? Eliza Spalding? Okay. Usually what we do, Ms. Spalding, is we give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself or why you're interested in serving in this capacity. We have seen your resume. It's included with our agenda, so we've read through those materials. But we'd like to give you an opportunity to tell us why you're interested in serving on the Human Rights Commission. Then I'll open it up to councilors to ask any questions, you can answer some questions, and then we will probably expeditiously proceed to a vote. So with that, let me turn it over to you, Ms. Spalding, and tell us why you're interested in serving in this capacity.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So a little bit of background about myself. I originally am from Buffalo, New York. I am Chinese American, and I grew up in a small community, a small farm community, where I was the only family of any diversity in my town. So I have a sense of what it's like to live and feel different. Fast forward, I moved to Newton in 2015, and I specifically, my family and I specifically sought out a city in the Boston area that we felt like valued diversity. And we've been really happy to be in Newton and to raise our family here. In my professional life, I am a paper conservator, so I preserve prints, drawings, photographs, so they can be studied, appreciated, connect us to the past for years to come. And in my former job, I was at the Worcester Art Museum. I also, I had two roles. And in addition to being a paper conservator, I was also the diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion specialist. And when I was in that role, doing DEI work professionally was when I really started to become more sort of attuned to what was happening in Newton. And that's when I connected with the Human Rights Commission and started attending meetings. And from there, it sort of grew, wanting to become more involved in a more formal capacity. I feel both personally and professionally really connected to the mission of the committee, and some of the things I'm very specifically interested in achieving are, some are sort of fundamental. One is I'd really like to increase the knowledge people in Newton have of the Human Rights Commission, and in fact, many of the commissions. I talk to many people who don't even know it exists. So I think that's really important. And I have some ideas about how we might be able to do that. I know the Human Rights Commission, both from what is available online, but also from attending meetings, has some very specific goals. And I think it would be great to develop more process around how we achieve some of those goals and increase engagement around some of them. So that's something I'm really interested in. And then I'll just say finally that I think what I'm most interested in all of this work, DEI work, Human Rights Commission, is how to really support communities in having respectful dialogues. I think that's something that communities have always felt. I think we're feeling it obviously acutely right now, just because of the way our society has developed. We have all of these online forums, in-person forums, and conversations take off very quickly and often can become something far from where I think they were intended to go. So that is a really deep personal interest of mine.
Thank you for those comments. Appreciate it. Are you a Buffalo Bills fan?
I think if you're from Buffalo, you have to be a Buffalo Bills fan.
Okay. Well, then my heartfelt condolences. I'm sorry. What a rough existence it is.
Does that actually hold true after you leave the greater Buffalo area, or
You know,
do
I
they
mean,
keep tabs on you?
I always root for the underdog, and Buffalo is always the underdog. So,
Yeah, fair enough. I'm from Detroit, so I feel your pain.
right, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't see any hands yet. I will just comment quickly. I noticed that I don't think you mentioned it, but you're also co-chairing, is it CPAC at the moment, which
Yes,
is
of
tremendous.
course. Thank you
Also,
for bringing that up.
experience
Yes.
and lends itself to, you know, a similar sort of motivation, one would say,
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
help the community. So I think you're incredibly well qualified. I'm thrilled that you're willing to take this on. You know, sometimes I ask people, why are you interested in doing this? With you, it's like, oh my God, why are you interested in doing this for us? You know, thank you. Thank you for being willing to serve. So appreciate it. You are also from my ward. I'm the Ward 4 member on this committee. So I am happy to move approval of your appointment. And if there's any discussion, otherwise we can move to a vote. So I've moved approval. Any comments from committee members?
I agree, incredibly well qualified, and I was fascinated in reading your resume to learn that integrated pest management is necessary for paper conservatorship, and I never knew that. So thank you for the education.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Malachy. Okay, seeing no other comments. All those in favor of approval, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that's 6-0. Ms. Spalding, what happens now is it goes to the full city council. You don't have to be there for the full city council meeting, but at our next city council meeting, which I think is in a week and a half, a week from Monday, I believe, you should be approved and everything should go smoothly. Okay. You also don't have to stick around for the rest of the night. We only have a couple of little things to do, but we're not going to be offended if you close your computer, go watch, you know, old highlights of Sabres games or whatever you want to do. But this committee, this docket item, right down the middle, not wide right, nowhere off base, right down the middle. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. And I will excuse myself to allow you to continue with your meeting.
Fair enough. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you all. Now, the other docket items are all reappointments. So I'm happy to do them all at once, or we can do them one at a time. I think I'll introduce them all. And then I think Councilor Baker wanted to say a couple of words just about the Commonwealth Foundation, especially for those of you who are newer and may not know what that is. So let me introduce all 4 items. That's okay with everybody? We can take them all as one? Okay. So item 91-24, the reappointment of John Neville to the Newton Commonwealth Foundation. Item 92-24, the reappointment of Peter Doherty to the Newton Commonwealth Foundation. Item 93-24, reappointment of Arlene Franklin to the Newton Commonwealth Foundation. And item 94-24, the reappointment of Thomas Elkind to the Newton Commonwealth Foundation. Councilor Baker.
So I'm prepared to move a reappointment or move the item, but I just wanted to provide, as you indicated, a little background for people who may not be familiar with this. This is a golf course that's off of Kenrick Street in Ward 7 that bounds right up against the Boston line. And it was the site of a former private country club called the Chestnut Hill Country Club, part of which was sold off to Boston and became what we call town estates, the condominiums that are low-rise condominiums at the Boston side. On the Newton side, when the parcel became available, this was a process that I was involved in before I became a city councilor, and then it was ultimately culminated while I was on the council. The net of it is the city of Newton bought a 71-acre operating public golf course for the net cost of $375,000 in 1981, which is still one of the great real estate deals of our time, I think. The way that it has managed to work is that as part of that process, there was a private foundation created that was the holder of the asset until the city bought it. Some neighbors got together and one of them put down a deposit, and there was a local bank that was willing to give a balloon mortgage. I helped find a golf course operator, and they kept the course operating until the city could buy it out. And there are also some housing built on the rim and both sides, including some low and moderate income housing opportunity as part of that. But the course has been managed independent of the recreation department successfully for all that time since then, almost 40 years. And what has happened is that the foundation, its members are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the city council, basically is the licensee of the opportunity to manage the course. It in turn then subcontracts or license contracts with the golf course operator, currently Sterling Management, which basically takes on the management and operation of the course. And the revenue that is generated by the course goes back into the course, except for a certain amount that comes out for conservation and recreation purposes each year, and also some opportunity for city, the mayor's office and other city days to employees to play, and also for the Newton High School teams to play, for example. So it's really an extraordinary model, I think, that's been successful, and it's been successful in large measure because of the people who've been willing to donate their time to help administer the course. It's ultimately responsible to the city, and so it has to comply with bidding laws and do, it's got to go through open meeting process and all of that, but it functions as an independent but collateral and allied arm, independent in the sense it has its own duties to perform, but it is an arm of the city, and therefore I think a very positive one, and has produced a lot of value for a lot of people over many years. And these individuals who the mayor has reappointed have been appointed before, but are also continuing because they love the sport and are willing to help it continue. They've got a building project to undertake to try and renovate the maintenance shed that they have and replace part of it, I think, maybe all of it. But they've done the irrigation projects, taken care of the course and all of that over the years with the revenues generated by the course. So anyway, I just wanted people to know about that. And the one legal part that I was involved in very early on is that you all know about betterment assessments for sidewalks and sewers. The key that helped make this work was a betterment assessment on the surrounding properties of $4,000 each, including 16 parcels carved out for development, which could be paid over 20 years. And that in turn leveraged money from the state and money from the city. That's how we ended up with just a net cost of $375,000 for 71 acres. So that's the short story. And I hope that you will support all these nominees and support the operation of the course and the foundation, which has been such an integral part of its success.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we can never lose Councillor Lyle Baker and his institutional knowledge and his wisdom.
Well,
Thank you, Councillor Baker. Councillor Baker has moved approval. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of all five, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? 6-0 in support of, basically in support of Councillor Baker.
That's fair. And Councillor Baker, did I hear you right that 100% of the revenues created by the golf course go right back into the course?
Not all of it. Some of it comes out to the city. There are payments made immediately for conservation and recreation, and then also days of operation that are made available to the city. So those are revenue days that just don't, they're effectively days of revenue that are foregone. So they're in kind, and then they use the facility for various things. But it's designed to be sort of self-supporting and not be a drain on the taxpayer. That's the idea.
It's just a drain on this golfer, but not as a taxpayer. So that's good.
Okay.
I don't know if you've played at the course before, but if you play on a day when I'm playing, definitely bring a helmet because it's tight.
Good. Yeah, it's you got to watch your P's and Q's on that track. Yep.
Yeah,
Especially
I
if
have
I'm out
some great memories from that course when I was a kid. The former hole 17, I think it's now hole 13. It's a short par 3, about 140 yards.
Yeah.
I got a hole in one on my 15th try. So I don't know if that counts as a hole in one.
It
But
does.
it was from the tee box,
Yes.
my 15th try, from the tee box into the hole, sort of like a hole in one, but on my 15th try.
I've been playing this game. I've been playing that game since I was about 12. Still don't have an ace.
I do. And when it happened, it was fluky, it was terrible. I called my father, who had, been playing for years and years and years. Literally, I said the words, he said, F you, and hung up on me.
That's a true sign that your father loves you, right there.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
yep.
That's dad. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
No, I want to stay on and talk, so you're not gonna get that from
Talk
me.
golf. I photographed a hole in one once.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
It was, which Smith was it? Molly Smith, one of the Smiths, there's these three Smith sisters from Westford who are amazing golfers. And one of the, forget if it was the Lowell City tournament or the Women's City tournament, but she got a hole in one.
Nice.
And I got her reaction with a long lens from the distance. She was in the distance and reacted. It was pretty cool.
You didn't photograph the hole in one itself. You
No,
photographed the
I
actual
didn't.
the hole.
Right. I was getting her tee shot from very far away, basically.
Ah.
Yep.
You were there, you witnessed it.
Yep.
Well, I wish you all successful outings.
Indeed.
Are we motioning here?
I think we're done. I moved to adjourn.
Oh, Councilor Maliki has moved adjournment, but hopefully, Jacqueline, you got all that into the notes. And we are adjourned. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Awesome.
For those of you who are with Councilor Oliver, we'll see you in about 12 minutes.
Yeah, about 10 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes. Yep, sounds good. See you in a
All
few.
right.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.